Well, hello there. I am Nancy Love, and I'm making this video while sitting by the side of the road in my vehicle for the Planet Peace Project. And for you, yes, for you, because I have an interesting conundrum, and I've been debating this for quite a long time. And I think that your own ideas would be very cogent. If you want to comment, I'd appreciate it. If you want to just think about this, I think it might be very productive. You may have heard about the concept that psychologists have now called compassion fatigue. There's a lot of research and studies and anecdotal research, as well as experimental research, being done about empaths and how some people are actually hardwired for empathy because we have mirror neurons in our brain, an unusual conglomeration of mirror neurons, as did Albert Einstein, incidentally. Some people can learn empathy. Yes, empathy absolutely can be taught. I have taught selfish people empathy. It can be done. I know for a fact. But we talk about, we study narcissists, and everybody knows how to spell it now because of certain things that occurred in the United States after certain elections. Suddenly, everybody was an expert on narcissism back in 2016. Um, but compassion fatigue is a very interesting phenomenon in that the very, very people who are most deeply compassionate, nurturing, empathic souls who typically can be relied on for all of that, can get so tired of being deeply compassionate, empathic, and nurturing souls and just so worn out and spread thin that they lose it. Yep. They end up seeming like the opposite of all that. They get angry, they get disgusted, they get um, impatient, and they withdraw. So, nurturing empathic people can actually seem like the opposite when they get so exhausted and used up that they just can't be there for you anymore. I have talked to quite a few police officers about this, and they say compassion fatigue is very, very common, particularly within the first years of being out on patrol, because you see the worst in people. You may be threatened. You may be really challenged to. By the time you've been a police officer for a few years, you may be really challenged to find anything good in humanity. And hopefully, you've got good family and friends that remind you that there is actually some good in some of us. But I would propose a question, and the question is actually based on a dream I had in 2011. What if Christ developed compassion fatigue? What if Christ had lived a long life and got so disgusted with humanity and Pontius Pilate and evil and militaristic soldier men and the robotification of human beings that occurs when they join the military, any military, even way back then, and do follow the king's orders rather than their own hearts and souls and their own empathy and compassion. What if Christ had not been killed when he was 33, yelling, "Forgive them, God, they know not what they do," but had died a natural death maybe when he's 80 or 90 or 100, or was living to be as old as Methuselah? Would he have still cared? Would he have had it in him? You want to think so, but sometimes I wonder. And here's why. In April of 2011, I woke to a sunny Tuesday morning with the memory of this dream. In the dream I had in 2011, I was awake. I was standing in my bedroom. I was looking out of a window into a verdant backyard. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful morning. And at approximately 10:30, I felt something in my heart, some kind of, you know, circular phenomenon of some sort in my heart. And I heard a voice, and the voice in the dream said, "I am Jesus Christ, and this is part of the second coming, as it is known to man in the 21st century." And then he said, in the dream, I can't make this up, it really happened in the dream. This individual whose voice I could hear identifying himself as Jesus Christ of Nazareth said that the military of the United States of America told him that he could use me as a Stargate. And he said, "Do you know what a Stargate is?" And I said, in the dream, I said, "Yeah, there's one under Montauk Island Base, and there's one in Antarctica, and I hear there's one in the Himalayas. Yes, I know what a Stargate is. We've even had movies and TV series about Stargates. So I know what you're talking about. Why are you coming through me?" And he said, "Because they said that you were exceedingly pure of heart, that you were remarkably kind, and unfettered by guilt and immorality." And I said, "Well, I'm thinking that's cool. I'm glad someone knows." And so suddenly I felt this whoosh, and this massive, massive phenomenon just kind of flowed through me. And it was beauty, and it was all inspiring, and it was love. Suddenly I felt this massive realm of love just move out of my heart area. And I couldn't see anything, but I had been told that Jesus Christ was using me as a stargate to re enter the world. And then I felt the presence. And the presence then said, "I'm going to go and fly around the world and assess the heart of mankind to see if they're ready for the second coming yet." And I said, "Okay, I'll be here when you get back." And, I was, here again in the dream I had. I was standing at the bedroom window, and I just stood there, sort of thinking what a remarkable experience that was, and how blessed I felt to have whatever presence that was so immense and magnificent and full of love, right? And then in no short order whatsoever, and in no long period of time whatsoever, I felt the whoosh come back, the whoosh of the soul, and it just whooshed, and it was despair, and it was bereft, and it was almost destroyed. It was so full of sadness. And I said, "What happened?" And it seemed to then again reside in my heart area. And the being or the entity identifying itself as Jesus Christ of Nazareth said that he had flown all around the world, and he had assessed the heart. He had entered into the hearts and brains and minds of mankind. And he said, "Oh, I cannot believe what I've discovered. They're even worse. There are many more of them, but that shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. There are," he said, "mankind is much, much worse than it was when they were the corrupt, evil, blatantly immoral species full of lies and jealousy and competition and violence that they were when," he said, "when he was here the first time." And I said, "I know." And he said, "The weapons, they spend all of their time jealously competing with one another and planning and devising better, bigger, and badder ways of destroying one another, every other species, and the world. And then he talked about the mass extinction and how the planet was supposed to be a garden and how humanity was supposed to take care of other species, not destroy them, and how we'd been given this planet as a massive, great gift, and we were supposed to take care of the garden, not destroy it. And Christ said that um, the planet is nothing more than a bomb site, and it could have been a paradise of love. I said, I know, I know. And he said, you are such a good soul. Can I hide in you? Can I hide in you and know solace? I said, you can hide in me anytime. You can hide in me. I will console you with my love. And then I woke up to the same bright, sunny Tuesday morning that I had woken up to in the dream. It was kind of a time loop experience. And that is why, people, I cannot help but wonder if Jesus Christ were alive on this planet today. Would you expect that consciousness to go around all pious and compassionate and nurturing and all loving and all forgiving? Or would you expect to see that consciousness see us rightly for what we really are and what we've insisted on becoming: competitive, jealous, corrupt, evil, violent, spending well over 20% of the international energy and products and service and economy on finding bigger, better, badder ways of killing one another, the planet, and every other species hereupon. What would have happened if Christ developed compassion fatigue and was so angry at us for failing in our mission to tend the garden that he could barely see us anymore with love? Would Christ, like I do, basically want to change his name to justifiably outraged love? Think on these things, my friend, because those of you who keep looking for and praying for and hoping for the return of that consciousness who might lead us to something more sublime than what we've created for ourselves need to prepare the world. We need to fill the world with loving kindness on the behalf of any savior we think we might want to attract. Because I happen to think that if Jesus Christ or the Jewish Messiah or some other great leader that everyone hopes and prays for who will appear and lead humanity to some greatness beyond anything we've achieved heretofore actually appeared, wouldn't we be jealous? Wouldn't we be competitive? Wouldn't we be trying to arm wrestle him or her for that role ourselves? How ready are we really for a messenger of love? How many would only turn a deaf ear to the message? There's got to be a reason why I pulled my car over today and just had to tell you this. And if you're drawn to this message, it's definitely for you. Thank you for your time and attention. More later. I'm just getting started here. Nancy Love, Stargate.